Hi guys, Rebel here, back in for another video. Today is going to be the premiere edition of my Top 5 Fridays. Now, I was thinking a lot about what my first topic would be, and I've come to the conclusion that my first topic for this video would be my top 5 programs of the 1990s. Obviously, being a child of the 90s, I watched a lot of TV, and I'm just going to tell you my top 5, what the programs that meant a lot to me growing up, and what had a big impact on my life growing up. So just to carry on, guys, we're going to start at number 5. At number 5 was Star Trek Voyager. I did watch Star Trek Next Generation, but that started in the late 80s and finished in the early 90s. I did watch that as well. Who can disagree with Captain Jean-Luc Picard? But Star Trek Voyager was my Star Trek. I loved all the cast. I loved how they worked with each other. I loved the concept how a starship got trapped in the Delta Quadrant, which hasn't been explored before in the Star Trek universe. And I loved, because with the unknown, you can just make up anything, because the Alpha Quadrant was explored. You knew all the alien species there, the Beta Quadrant, the Gamma Quadrant, but the Delta Quadrant no one had explored before. So it was a fresh concept, and also you knew that the Borg was from the Delta Quadrant, so you knew there was going to be a lot of Borg activity. And I just loved where they started to where they ended. It was an emotional journey, I tell you. I loved the entire cast. I loved Kate Mulgrew. I think she was a fantastic captain, being the first female captain, obviously. And I'm loving her in Orange is the New Black, by the way. I think it's a phenomenal way she's just gone from that to that, which is great. My favourite character in Star Trek Voyager would definitely have to be a toss-up between the Doctor and Tuvok. I love them two characters the most. Tim Russ is actually doing London Film and Comic Con in 4 weeks' time, and I'm hoping to meet him. I loved the theme tune, and it was just great. And I remember it was always on BBC Two after a double bill with The Simpsons on I think it was a Tuesday night. And I watched it. I think I got into Voyager around about season 4-ish, because that's when I discovered it, and I absolutely loved it. And that is, to this day, why I'm a Star Trek fan more than a Star Wars fan. At number 4, we have The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Now, this is when I was first introduced to Will Smith, who is an iconic guy in today's movie market and music market. I love Will Smith as a singer. I have his greatest hits album. I love every song he's ever released. As Club 7 are my number 1 band, Will Smith would definitely be my number 1 solo performer. But with Will Smith, what I loved was with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, it taught you a lot, especially growing up. It taught you a lot about the outside world. He had this street kid go to live with his rich family and with his rich cousins who have no idea how to act in the real world because they're surrounded by money, everything's done for them. And it's a growing up, it's a coming of age story. There wasn't a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air episode where you just didn't get yourself involved in it and you couldn't relate to it, because it was great. And I loved Jeffrey. Jeffrey was great. You had to love Jeffrey. Jeffrey was my favorite character in the series, and to this day, that theme song today is still played in clubs. I've gone to clubs and they've played that song, and you're like, I mean, I have that song on my phone and I play it regularly because it's such a catchy tune. And you knew if you heard the first 4 beats of that song, you knew you was going to sing the whole thing. You know that song word for word. And that's what I love, because when it came on TV and they played the theme song, I'd sing word for word because it was that great of a song and it's that great of a program. So at number 4, it's The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. At number 3, it's of course Pokemon. Now, Pokemon was this big, absolute massive craze that came in from Japan. I think it hit the Western areas in 97, 98. But obviously it's been in Japan since 96. Pokemon just hit the scene and it was like, boom, there you go. And I was like, wow, well, we're going to do this. with Pokemon, it was just such a massive market, especially when it came to the Game Boy games, the trading cards, the action figures, the merchandise. Everyone wanted everything with Pokemon. The theme tune was great, you know. The story was great about this kid, again, a kid coming of age, going out on his own. The 10-year-old kid going out on his own. With these companions, battling, becoming a champion, even though Ash never became a champion. I think in the 20-year history, next year marks the 20-year history of Pokemon. I don't think he's ever become a Pokemon master in the 20-year history of it being around. And he hasn't grown up. He's still 10 years old in 20 years. It's weird. It's like The Simpsons. So weird. To me, I think Pokemon got stale after Series 3. I haven't watched anything since then. I've tried to watch a couple episodes, but they've changed the voice actors, and it isn't the same as it once was. I still play the Game Boy games to this day. Well, the DS games now, obviously. I got Alpha Sapphire. I bought it when it came out, but I haven't played it yet, which is bad. I haven't completed X, which is bad. But it's like, as soon as you hear a new Pokemon game's coming out, you've got to be like, whoa, no way, I've got to see what's new about this, I've got to get it. Blah, blah, blah. Even though you don't play it, but you got to get it. Because it was just that thing from the 90s, from your childhood, which you're just like, oh, is this what they're doing now? Oh, I've got to get this, I've got to see how it works. Because Pokemon was just that thing, you're just like, wow. Because nothing like that, I think, has ever been done before. And, you know, and again, with the theme tune, as soon as it came on, you knew you were going to sing every word to that song when it came on. Which again is infectious, because everyone knows the song. And that was my number 2. No, number 3. That's my number 3. I'm miscounting now. I am having difficulty counting down from 5. And number 2. At number 2, we have Pokemon's most bitter rival, Digimon. Digimon was never as popular as Pokemon because I think the merchandise never grew as big as it did. Action figures of Digimon were poor. Trading cards were poor. The video games never followed the actual TV series. It was completely different. It was weird. I tried playing the first video game where you're in a digital world, and it's like, the hell am I doing? No idea what's going on here. But with Digimon, I enjoyed the storyline more with Digimon, especially the first 2 series, because it was more of an adventure and again the coming of age kind of thing, where you've taken some kids and you've put them in a completely different world, and you've given them this partner who can talk to them, and you have to trust. It's about trust and, you know, growing stronger and more powerful so you can defeat evil, but again like a team, because there's multiple, so you've got to do it as a team, which is great. It's a good learning life lesson. And again it's the theme song again. Everyone knows that opening like few bars like Digimon. And you're just like, again, you can't help but sing the theme song. Again, I did it myself, you know. I sang the theme song every time it came on. But again, when they digivolved, you couldn't help but go, Agumon digivolved to Greymon. You're just like, yes! You're like, go on, lad, go and beat him up. It was like, go on. And it was great, because when you're that age, you're just like, you don't care. You're just like, go on, you can do this. And that is what Digimon like gave me. It gave me that warm feeling inside, you know, when you watch something happen. And I still watch Digimon to this day. It's come up to the 15th anniversary of Digimon this year. Is it this year or was it last year? I think last year was the 15th anniversary of Digimon. So Digimon came out in '99. And the Japanese series is celebrating that by making a new series. It's going to be based on the original series. It's going to be Series 3. It's going to be between Series 2 and Series 3, but with the original cast. And I hope, for the love of God, that they dub it into English with the original voice actors, because that would just be nostalgia filled beyond relief, and just like, whoa, oh my God. Because when I saw the trailer for it, I was like, oh, please, for the love of God, please, someone do this in English, because I'm going to just like explode. Because again, like I said, I loved it. I loved it. Way better than Pokemon in my eyes. And number 1, of course, it is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Power Rangers celebrated its 22nd anniversary this year, and it's still going strong to this day. But when Power Rangers burst on the scenes in 1993, it was the first, I think, the first semi-violent program I ever watched that involved explosions and martial arts, and it was amazing. With Power Rangers back then, it wasn't about beating up bad guys and being violent. It was about working as a team, trying to conquer problems, trying to, save the world, but as together and as a unit. Again, so Power Rangers back then taught you a lot of life lessons, unlike today, which is just about selling the merch, which is poor. That's why I don't like Power Rangers today. I mean, I still watch it today, but I don't watch it religiously like I did back then, because it is all about the merch now, and it's not about teaching kids how to grow up, and that's what I don't like. Because back then, I mean, who remembers the episode? I think it's the unicorn episode where the guy just like, the cleanup club episode. There we go, the cleanup club. Trini's like, oh man, look at this. We need to make a cleanup club. We need to protect the earth. We need to, clear everything up. So air pollution and everything. And all the guys are like, yeah, come on, clean up club. And like shirts made. And then Rita's like, no, we're going to pollute the earth. Blah, 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 blah. Hey, goes to the monster, unicorn monster. And they're like, no, you can't pollute the earth. This is our home. It's a great life lesson, especially in today's market, because they're just constantly going about global warming and stuff. But today in kids' TV, it's also like about, makeup and shit, looking good. It's bad. But with Power Rangers, again, like I said, I learned to be part of a team. I learned about, being brave, being strong, and that's just amazing to me anyway. And also, again, that theme tune. Theme tunes in the 90s were a lot better than theme tunes today. Theme tunes today are like 30 seconds long, and it might be a little bit of a guitar riff. No words. Theme songs back then, they held a meaning. They had lyrics that meant something. Even though Power Rangers, go Power Rangers. You Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. That's if you do the short version, but the extended version is a lot better. And, that's why it's my all-time #1 program of the 90s, because I could just go back to that and watch that over and over again. Even though the episodes are quite repetitive, they're in school, Rita sends a monster, Power Rangers go destroy the monster, monster grows large, call the Megazord, destroy the monster again, happy days, right? Wasn't really a lot of story progression, but it was there and it was great to me anyway. And I know there's a lot of Power Ranger fans out there that feel the exact same way that I do, and I'm ecstatic to actually be meeting Jason David Frank Tommy next month at London Film and Comic Con. I actually screamed when they announced him, and I'm just like, oh my god, I'm gonna meet my hero, And that is why Power Rangers is my #1 program in the 90s. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you like, comment, subscribe. If you want to tell me your top 5 programs in the 90s, please leave a comment below or make a video response. I'm always good for fan interaction. So please, like I said, keep rebelizing, keep supersizing, rebelize those pages, and join me next week again for another Top 5 Friday.